Hello Internet, today I'm gonna explain how I created this awesome project in Blender 292 using RBD Lab and mixamo model and animation. First of all, you're gonna need a footage with ground or wall. Go outside, shoot some footage or take mine, link is below. And you need an idea of what you're gonna do with it. Second, you will need a plugin called RBD Lab. This is my favorite plugin of all Blender plugins. Open up the Blender version 292, remove everything, and as you can see there is something in my scene. We're covering that later. And go to movie clip editor, select your image sequence. I already have this, and you gotta do tracking. Track as best as you can. My suggestion is increase this pattern size and search size. Also I'm using perspective model and use normalize and use correlation around 0.90. Then you do tracking. Look other tutorials how to track. Here we are skipping this part. Let's go to the viewport then. So we get a viewport and perfectly aligned plane here. You have to create plane, mesh plane here and make it in center. So what we're gonna do now is subdivide this fewer times. Then let's adjust the position of the plane. I'm using transform here, like that, 0. So let's go to edit mode and select part of the plane where I want my destruction will be and separate this by selection. So we got a two plane now. Let's go to the shading, Shift A, search image texture. You got the image texture here and open your image sequence, first frame of your image sequence. Here you can you should press image sequence, select your frames but a little more than you have in your clip. Start frame 0, offset -2, auto refresh and pivot to base color. So we have now upside down our material here. That's okay. Let's go to modifier and apply adding modifier UV project, connect to camera right here, 778. Also for this UV project camera. So as you can see, this not looking good now. It's just because we need to subdivide this more. Also this plane too. Okay, everything looks okay now. So a few things we got to deal with this. As you can see, there is a wheel coming, with different color because this is all texture. So like now our camera acting like a projector, and this is so good to work with, unbelievable realistically. So let's deal with these colors that our plane is doing here. I'm gonna select my press C to select the mesh that I don't want to be. So I want to just delete this. Alright, like that. Let's select the soul. Press delete. Faces. So now we are deleted the mesh that blows up our composition. So, but if we press render image now, we are going to see these annoying edges of black. So we need to enhance our frame here, enhance our effect here. We cannot remove these edges. Like in viewport, we see there is no edges. We can even leave it like that, but in render composition, we're gonna have this. So we just need to go to compositing and uncheck this convert pre-multiplied checkbox. Okay. So right now, if we're pressing render image, this is going to be as same as the viewport, but we could increase this. So if you don't have a sun, create a sun and adjust its point. Here we adjusting the strength for our sun. So right now you basically can't see where these edges were, and this is doing such a good realistic work for us. We can now save our file. Okay. So let's now do our plane and destruction itself. Let's first let's extrude. Press E to extrude this down, and shift select here. Select all this, all sides of this plane. Go to material, new material, and assign. Let's do it black. So we have now black material from inside of our plane. So we can't use texture here because this plane is using modifier, and our texture will be swimming with our floor. It's gonna be swimming. It's looking bad, unrealistic. So because of Blender limitation, we need to stick to that way. We're just using black texture. Different method, you can use single frame UV map, but when person going closer to this plane, we could see that this is all fake plane, and as you can see, there is even shifting, this edge shifting. This is all going to work bad for us and unrealistic looking. So let's continue. Going to RBD lab, let's scatter this plane. Oops, wrong button. Let's scatter this plane and scatter, and let's make less chunks. Fracture. It takes some seconds. So we have fractured our plane now. Let's apply fracture now, but you can also add extra details or whatever you even like here. We keep this thing simple. So we have our plane. Excuse me, I'm gonna delete one thing. So we are having our plane, but this mesh all messed up again. Let's select all our pieces together. And again, adding modifier camera 1778. So now let's press Ctrl L and press modifiers. Now everything have its own modifiers, like piece from one piece that we did modifier. So let's continue. Now we can add rigid bodies and everything going to fall. That's okay. Then let's add that's fine, and add glue constraint. Now our particles, our rigid bodies stay in a place waiting for destruction here. So we can destroy it many other times and many other ways. We can just create cube, just create other mesh that, excuse me, create other mesh that are going to throw it, destroy it, and but a creative way that I used in my example, let's go to site mixamo and download character with the already created animation. So you can, in the character tab, you can select your character. So that's my character that I worked on. Let's go to animation, and this hurricane kick named hurricane, excuse me, let's remove movement here and download FBX, download without changing anything. So we are downloading now our character with animation. It's third time that I downloading here, but that's fine. Let's import our FBX animation from mixamo side. It's third time. So as you can see, I have a problem here. My character working strangely. Okay, that's all because I don't know what the problem is, but he's actually broken. I don't know what's happening, but I found the solution here. Downloading mixamo plugin. So we need to download this without skin. So just download this without skin. Hurricane 4, excuse me, 4. Hurricane 4, and import this separately. Then go to the mixamo plugin, select your skeleton, then select here, I guess, bake animation. Create control rig. Okay, apply animation. What? So I just pressed some buttons. I actually don't even know what I'm pressed, but this is all working. But he is moving now. Well, I forgot to change his moving to not moving at all. Let's find where this position where. So I guess a little messed up here. Well, let's leave it like that. Okay. Where are we going here? Here our hero now. He's moving a bit forward, but that's okay. We can animate this. So let's go to the non-linear animation. Okay, this movement will little messed up here. So I press this button and I can now do a action clip, and I can now repeat this animation few times. So yeah, he's turning back, and this is messed around a bit. So actually let's download right animation without movement. Maybe we can deal with it. Import fpx 5. And let's do the same. What's happening now? He's staying on the same place now, that's okay. But I guess he moving twice now, that's interesting. But I don't care, let's do a repeat process again. And hide this. But actually he's he's fine. Okay, let's hide. Press H to hide. So our character is moving now. Oops. Okay, let's unhide. We can only transform him like that. So why did this particles now? Okay, let's add a keyframe now. Basic keyframes. Go to the timeline, press I, so keyframes added automatically. After 40 frames, let's make him rising to a camera, press I. So he is now moving and working correctly in staying in place. So nice. Let's save this project again. Then let's go to the physics panel and make him passive, animated, and importantly mesh. Apply the mesh. So what's happening now? If we can see this, our character is now destroying our plane, but the constraint is too strong. Let's make it lower, but it's now breaking. Let's make it stronger a bit. For if you like this effect, you could leave it like that already. Something falling, but that's okay. So like now our character destroying the mesh, so this is basic effect that I did. So everything works okay. You can adjust this, play around with it. So what do I did with my basic? Let's add do constraint more. Yeah, like that. I like that a lot. I add also the force. Let's add force field, force, and max distance checkbox. So actually I animate this checkbox. Let's press here, and strength let's do 500,000 and parent it to object. Okay, nice. Yes, after that something is breaking. So let's after he rises, let's so you finish with your job with tweaking around this force field, this your character animation, your camera maybe. So you finish this, okay? What do you do then? I tell you, just press here bake your animation. When you bake, let's talk about how to create this underground. Just do default cube, select top face, remove face, select all, subdivide, go to the shading, new texture, Shift A, image texture, open up your texture, just find some texture in the internet. I find this in a Google search. Very good texture, higher quality is better. Then go to the modifiers and do the effect subdivision surface. Then go and apply effect displace. Select your texture and choose UV. Then tweak it until you're happy with it. So how is my texture here doing? That we do. Then if you finished your underground, then you are baked. If you are not, just bake your animation. Go to physics and press here bake. Here you have button bake. You baked your all animation if you did this already. If you want a collision with this, you will lost your UV data, UV map, and this realistic UV map will gone if you bake it to keyframes right now, but you have to bake it to keyframes. Right now I'm gonna demonstrate you what happens if you're going to bake it to keyframes right now. So look at that. This piece is now looking like a picture or something. This looking like a mirror or something that not work correctly, because we had a UV project modifier. Now it's gone. There are no UV modifiers, and you can't have it now. So let's go back. So how we achieve the good particles, dust, smoke, fire effect here? Our rigid bodies does not collide with particles right now, because in Blender you have to bake it to keyframes first to have a collision with particles. Save your project with different name. Save your project with different name and bake it until end. So bake it. When you finish your baking to keyframes, select all your chunks, all your cells, right, like that, and export this with Collada, and create a folder, selection only, pressed here, and export this Collada project. Then go back to your saved project with different names, as I said. When you just bake it, you didn't bake it to keyframes, just bake it, and that's all. You just bake it without keyframes. Then go with that project, go to import and Collada and select your Collada project. You will have something like this. If you looking, if this looking like that, everything is fine. So it's just copy of your animation, basically same animation. But now you can add collision to this. So how do you add collision to multiple objects? Select all your objects here and go to the scripting, and here is the script that you need to paste it. I pasted below in the link below, in the comment, in the description here. You can just copy paste here and press run script, then everything that you select will be applied collision. Then I suggest to you make its thickness to 10, just to your particles being stick to this and looking better, I guess. So to do so, you can just go here, go here, and again, maybe you have to like 8. Then you select everything here, and copy to selected must be active. But now you have to enable it. So you enable it, then you can copy to selected, paste it, copy to selected, and everything will be same values. So right now I suggest you this collision, just leave it with disable viewports. We need this to work right now, but hide this from view. So right now you can add actually particles, you can add smoke, you can add fire, it's gonna interact with your pieces, it's gonna work correctly, and you have a perfect UV map. So you have almost endless possibilities here with so simple steps. I'll demonstrate. Maybe you need derbies here. Let's say frame 26 to frame 28 and create. So finally it's loaded. Now we can see good particles. So how you now can see that particles now collide with our rigid bodies, even though they are not keyframed. It looks good to me, but I don't like this because when they stick to the ground, they are doing some weird stuff.